Ryan got grumpier as time went on. He spent more time in his room. I didn't notice that sign. I missed it. I thought I checked in on him. I did every day. How you doing? I'm fine. Okay, I guess you're fine. I didn't realize that fine meant I'm not fine. It was my wife's birthday, so her and I headed down to Mexico on the 20th of March. We got to Mexico, and I'll always remember this because the night of the 21st, we were having dinner. And our phones went off at the exact same time as 11:03, and we each had a text. But it was Ryan, basically saying, I love you, and then he said goodbye. I freaked out. My wife's screaming. I got on the phone, I called my mother-in-law who was looking after the kids. I'm like, find Ryan. I'm yelling at her, and Kim's yelling at Kyle, and she's running around the house, and she finds him. He took his own life.
My name is Ronald Davis. I've been on the street for about a year and a half now.
Any story you have heard of Skid Row will never live up to what I have seen. Because we can tell you 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times. And you can get guys from all over the city to tell you these stories, but unless you were there to see this, you would never believe the graphics of it. It was treacherous.
I go to fill out applications for a job and stuff. They look at me, I'm not looking presentable, and then we'll call you, leave a number. But how can I leave a number when I don't have a phone? I had one guy walk past me and talked about me so bad, and then I just looked at him. I said, God bless you, sir. He walked past and went down the street, come right back. And he said, you know what, man, I had a bad day. He said, I'm sorry for even calling you that. He said, because I know you're a human being. He said, would you accept my apology? I said, apology accepted. He went in his pocket and gave me $30 and said, go get you a room and get you something to eat. You know what I mean? No matter what people think about me, I know I'm a human first. And just because I'm down on my luck, don't give nobody no excuse to call me no bomb. Because I'm not.
And I don't believe that you're not doing anything special if you're not scared.
For people not being able to do what they want to do, you can do anything that you want to do.
Music is all I think about. From the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I fall asleep at night.
You can't eat dreams for breakfast, Joey.
Then I don't want to eat. This isn't about my career, Mom. It's my reason for living. And I know Dad felt the same way. Afraid that if I died today, that my life would have amounted to nothing.
I made bad choices. I got high without always thinking about the harm that it could do. I didn't always take school as seriously as I should have. I made excuses.
Everybody who's from an immigrant family needs therapy, and the reason why is because if you really think about immigrant stories, to leave your home and come to a new place and learn a new language, it's a traumatizing experience that is passed down generations. To be an immigrant is to be all survival.
I have to, because if I don't, único delito es venir acá a buscar para poder sobrevivir.
How do you... Reason why I am so against the wall, number one, economically very infeasible. And number two, I don't see the wall as being a physical barrier between two countries. I see it as a very symbolic barrier between people. People who are running for their lives are still going to come. Because trust me, your desire to live is going to help you find a way to get over some wall. You know, that's not the problem. Walls, barricades, barriers are not the economic, moral answer.
We're sad, very sad. They told us they were going to give us an opportunity. We feel betrayed, Stephen tells me. Though this group would still rather be on the streets here than back in Venezuela.
¿Qué te explicaron? No me dijeron nada. Solo me dijeron que me iban a llevar para un albergue y que nunca jamás iba a volver a ver a mi mamá.
You want to obey his law, you came here, invade my country.
Por ello no querían separar de mi mamá.
With the rise of cell phone cameras to catch offensive acts of racism, there is perhaps more awareness of this type of hate in the U.S. than ever before.
Pero me separaron.
It's too bad that your kind has moved into our neighborhood and brought with you the dirty and sloppy people you are.
Desperate to find a safe life with her children. The other has already made the journey, but was deported back to Guatemala without her daughters.
¿Cómo estás, princesa?
And is now fighting simply to bring them both home.
Leaving your parents to go to these like privileged experiences. It almost feels kind of like snobby in a way. Right? Like even though you worked for it and that's what they want, like they really worked for you to get to a good school and stuff.
They've been walking for 4 days now.
Maybe it just doesn't feel like you deserve it at times. And if you do, you wish that like
only tipped citizens.
So you wish that like your family had the same opportunities as you.
Then little Dawson, at just 8 years old, was struggling in atrocious conditions to help with the cobalt mining. He and his friend Richard, standing next to him and just a few years older, worked all day for a pittance, often not enough for either of them to buy food.
You too smart. Look at the iPhone. Oh my gosh, Michaela, come on.
Throughout the whole history of slavery, I mean, I'm going back centuries, never in human history has there been more suffering that generated more profit and was linked to the lives of more people around the world, ever in history, than what's happening in the Congo right now.
La soluzione è liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e consentire a queste persone di vivere di quello che hanno.
Terrified I won't have access to food or clean water. I'm a scared little kid trying to fight for their future. I'm a scared little kid trying to fight for their future. I'm a scared little kid trying to fight for their
Immigration
kile milima. Kama papa wangu anakaa kazi asipatake makuta, nalala na njala.